Happy New Year. Hope you've had a good one. Had a quiet one here, know what I mean? We're all in bed for about 5 past midnight. Anyway, it's been a fantastic start to New Year for Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, other games kicking off earlier in the day, so we knew where we stood in terms of table and what we could get to. And I said last week, if we were lucky, if results went our way and we got a win today, we could close that down to 3 points on Huddersfield. And so it proved. Other results did go our way. Earlier in the day, Rotherham managed to claw back and get a 2-2 draw against Blackburn Rovers. That was a vital point for them. But the good news for Wednesday, Leicester, top of the table, they smashed Huddersfield 4-1. And Queen's Park Rangers, who were down there in the bottom three with us, they fell to a defeat 2-1 at home to Cardiff. And that right back, NG, who annoyed the hell out of me last week, nice to see him scoring on goal that sent them to defeat. So results very much going our way, so then it was down to us to go out there and get a result. Problem was, leading into the game, got loads of players out missing, haven't we? For my own Volks, they're added to an ever-expanding injury list. I think there were 12 players today out missing through various injuries. And of course, Big Diaby's out suspended from his little head nut. And George Bayer suspended for an incident that nobody's seen. So, Wednesday getting a little bit threadbare as we're going into this busy Christmas New Year period. Changes. So I changed Wednesday side then with Dawson in goal, a back four, Valentin, Bernard, Hekwe and Marvin Johnson. There's a big surprise, Liam Palmer moving into central midfield with Barry Bannon and Josh Windass just ahead of him. Up front, young Bailey Cadamartri with Masaba and Gassama once more provided with support in the attack from the wide areas. So Liam Palmer, other week Danny Rule said, Liam Palmer is going to be primarily used as a fullback, but needs must when the devil rides. And of course, he actually had a really, really good game in there in the playoff final second leg last season, so I would have never ruled him out playing there anyway. It's where he started as a kid. But Wednesday got a lot of work to get through in there. Hull playing a three at the back. Could we get down the wide areas? That was going to be the big key question today. And it was a question that Masaba and Gassama answered brilliantly. That's a real good start from Wednesday. Probably 10 minutes in, Marvin Johnson, fantastic cross from left-hand side. He's back inside, and we've talked about this all along. He's the best deliverer of a ball from a wide area that we've got in club. It's complete waste that he'd not been involved till Danny Rule come in. Devilish crossed at backstick. Hekwe gets up, heads it wide. Should be a goal really, and he'll expect to do better from there, big Heke. But he's had a fantastic game today. Again, building on last week's performance. Obviously, big Bambo's there, and it's hard to come in without a running start. Do you know what I mean? But 2 back-to-back games, he's been fantastic. But he should score there. As I said, Wednesday having a good opening spell. It's not ferocious, it's not 100 mile an hour, but it's a good spell. We're on top. They're playing three at back, and we're really getting in round sides, and that was a key thing to obviously Gassama and Masaba. They played at opposite flanks today, so they're both playing sort of inside out, if you know what I mean. Kept looking for each other, kept trying to find each other. Not exclusively, do you know what I mean? It weren't like they were ignoring everybody else like happened with Italians a few years back, Carboni and Di Canio won't pass ball to Andy Booth. Well, perhaps rightly so, but you know the point I'm making. They weren't just knocking it to each other all the time. Gassama, especially earlier doors, he found Masaba with a couple of fantastic big diagonals, and a hell of a diagonal ball anyway. Big diagonal over to the other side, really opened it up. And like I said, they've got 3 set of halves, defending quite narrow, and he was getting inside and running at them for fun. Probably could have had a couple of goals, to be honest. He's brilliant at beating his man. It's just that decision-making thing. Sometimes it's when he's trying to beat the 6th man when things fall down a little bit. But young lad, but those two especially were causing them big problems. During that opening spell, probably 20-25 minutes, completely Wednesday, Hull were having bits at ball, playing some nice stuff, pretty patterns. probably, but only up to sort of centre circle, but not really doing anything with it after that. Wednesday was solid. Bannon and Palmer really getting it amongst there. And I thought Windass were good. He would always available to. He weren't playing in a 3 in there in the sort of traditional sense, like when we play Volks in there, we'd like Byers and Bannon in front of him, or Bannon and whoever else. It weren't like that, but it was more like a 2. But what Windass was doing is whenever Palmer got ball, whenever Bannon got ball, he was always dropping off that front and making himself available to receive. So that worked quite well. But during this spell, down the right hand side especially, Wednesday would have a little bit of joy. Palmer had a penalty appeal. It would have been a soft one. It would have been a soft one for me. But the kid makes contact with him. Is it deliberate? Well, yeah, because he knows that Palmer's going past him, and he makes no attempt to get out of the way. He blocks him at the very least. Seen them given, but I weren't too upset we didn't get it because 50-50 toss of a coin. It's like I said, referees. Other end, I wouldn't have been surprised he's giving it, to see it given. But then did we make enough of it? Well, I tell you who did make enough of something, which were Valentin. We got a free kick down the right hand side, which were whipped in, and their keeper made a good save from a Windass header. But the free kick itself, Valentin goes over it. It's a sort of, I would say it's maybe a 60-40 in their lad's favour. Valentin goes over, gives him shoulder, which is fair enough. It is a man's game out there, so he's giving him a bit of that. I think he's going to get to ball first, but then there is a bit of, their arms are up because they're scrabbling. He goes down holding face, and I don't like that game, me. I don't like that game. His arms were up there, it didn't bash him in the face. And I know it's a free kick for us, and if we'd scored from it, I'd have been jumping up with everybody else. I get that. And, I don't want to get all Corinthian spirit about it, but I just don't like to see it. I find it a bit embarrassing. I don't know why. And if you can benefit from it, I'm sure I'd, like I said, celebrate goal with everybody else. But for me, I don't like it. As I said, Hull, they're playing some nice little bits, but not really threatening us too much. On Wednesday, like I said, they've had this penalty shout with Palmer. We've had free kick down the right side. Masaba's drifted in a couple of times, got a couple of shots. Bannon's had a shot. We're looking lively going forward. But there's always that worry then, isn't there? When things are going well and you're on top. I mean, the number of times it's happened over the years that we get hit with a sucker punch. So I'm wary of that. And they had an opportunity, it's maybe half an hour. Ball to edge up box. Cute little ball inside, and their lad is just about to pull trigger. He does a little turn. I'm not so sure he don't meg. I don't know if it's Bernard who's going to close him, but Heckway gets in. Fantastic block, really, really good block. And flag goes up. I don't know if it's offside or if he's seen a foul somewhere, but kid were pulling trigger there in 18-yard box, and Heckway showing what he is again. A proper centre half who'll get in there, chuck himself in, block stuff, tackle, get his head on stuff. But it would, again, a warning shot. You've got to be alive to danger, especially when you're on top. Wednesday, continuing to pile forward. Bernard made a fantastic run from his own half and all. He's down left hand side. He's playing like an old-fashioned outside left. Gets to the box, so it's a little bit nosebleed territory, and he gets shot, and it goes away for a corner. But Wednesday piling on, but still not really tested their keeper as such. Probably the one save from Windass header. And then there's a sort of turning point in the game, which is, I think it's about 34 minutes, the sending off. It's one of them balls that squirts into position between two players, and their kid goes in. What I can't understand is why he's gone for it, because it's like a 50-50. If he stays on his feet, that's just two players coming together with a block tackle. Do you know what I mean? And I couldn't understand him a bit. I was shit at block tackling, me saying absolutely terrible. Worst. Terrible. So maybe that's why he slid. But then when he's not going to hurt him, he's not going to do him, and he actually gets ball, but it's just, it's got studs up a bit and it looks bad, and it's trailing. I'd have said, for me it's a yellow. For me it's a yellow, and I think he's gnashed it a bit. He's brought his second leg round, and I think to sort of, I don't want to say protect him, Sen. You know that thing when you're down on flared and they're above you and you're just a bit worried that, oh, I'm going to actually get caught by a stud here. I think it's a bit of that. So I think it's a shit tackle, but I don't think it's a nasty tackle. Anyway, he gets his marching orders. I mean, I'm sat here debating, is it a red, isn't it a red? Well, referees give it, so it's a red, but... But I was concerned about it being a red, because often teams go down to 10 men, shut up shop, that can make it harder, can make it an harder game, and as it were, 11 against 11, I thought Wednesday were well on top. So there's that tiny part of me that, down to 10 men, is that going to make it harder for us? But to be fair, we just kept going exactly the same. We got a free kick, I think it was a Hekwe, found a terrific ball of it. Windass had made a split, he'd got in between two centre halves. Blatant shove on back. Honestly, that were the yellow card, because it was absolutely blatant. Mind you, no come of it. Windass just smashed it over at bar, didn't he? And looked like he got a bit of a bollocking from Bannon for it. But as I said, Wednesday kept going and kept going, and you just think we've got to make it count now. We've got to make it count. So having alt ball, I mean, I said this most week, I think I said it against Blackburn and Leicester, they had alt ball. But it don't matter unless you put it back in net, does it? So we would have an alt ball, but you've got to make it count. And as time went on and on, I were getting a little bit, come on. Now I'm thinking about it half time. I never felt threatened last week. You know when you're watching the game and you're comfortable. I was like, I'm not really worried. But today, for all good we had in first half, there was that little thing about, need that goal. And I think part of it were knowing other results. You know, I think internally, I was sort of personally putting pressure on us scoring that goal, getting that result today, because I knew other results had gone our way. So it's funny how it can affect you when you already know scores from other games, isn't it? If they had all kicked off at the same time, it would just be like, oh yeah, we're playing really well, we'll get a goal and blah, blah. But because I already knew them results had gone our way, I was like, come on lads, come on, got to get that goal. But luckily enough, 5 minutes after restart, we did. And a not very surprising source of the goal, Marvin Johnson. Recalled to the side by Danny Roll and showing what we've known all along, that he's got fantastic delivery, and he chips in with a goal. 8 starts this season, 3 goals, 2 assists. Look at the beginning of the season, weren't even creating a chance. Never mind putting one away. So, obvious thing to have him back in starting lineup, and he's repaid it again. 2nd goal this week. Although I did say that he likes to keep him hard and low, he's absolutely smashed this one in top bins, hasn't he, as if to prove me wrong. But getting forward, I mean, he's playing left back today. He's charged on, and went balls popped out to him, because there's a little through ball into the box. I don't know if it's Gisarma. Fletcher does well, gets it nudged. I think that's probably a penalty. I've only seen it the once, but I think there's a chance for a penalty there, 'cause it gets converged on from 2 directions. But don't matter, because Marv's in there, and we talked about it with the goal that he scored in week. There was the ball being played down left. He'd made a run. There was a bit of a crowd scene in there. Is ball going to pop out to me? I don't know. But he's gambled that it is going to pop out from there, and that's how he got that goal. And this one again, Fletcher's done well. He's sort of turned man in box, and as he's getting converged on, Mars following in. I don't wonder if referee gave a penalty if he'd not put that in, no. Yeah, well, we'll never know now. But Wednesday won, Hull 0. they'd gone to a back four, Hull, to try and sort of show things up a bit, because, as I said, they were playing that three at the back, obviously gone down to 10 men. We were getting in beforehand in wide areas. Sam and Masaba having loads of joy down there. As we'd seen with first goal, Marvin Johnson starting to bomb on as well and make an extra man on that side. Valentin were pushed right up on the side. And then Gassama scores, and it's an absolute cracker of a goal. Probably my man of the match today, Gassama. Not because of the goal, although it was a fantastic goal. He's took ball down, cut inside. You've all seen it by now, I'm sure. It's a placed finish. He smashes it. Don't get me wrong, there's some right power on it. Goalkeeper's not getting anywhere in that. But it's placed as well. It's placed with power. It's a great strike. Really wraps his foot round it. Beautiful goal. But as I said, he'd have got me man of the match whether he'd scored that goal or not, because he caused them some real problems today. And as we've said before, he's a young lad. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to run into dead ends at times, as they all do. And his defensive side's probably going to need a little bit, but he caused them a lot of problems. And as I said, but I loved him, first half especially. Not afraid to just open his body up, have a look, and just pinging them big diagonals to the other side and really causing all some problems and stretching them across back. I think he's had a terrific game, and you could see today why he's been up books at PSG. You can see that talent really starting to shine through. The other thing that he's given us today, and another reason why he's me man of the match, not just because he was a threat when he'd got the ball and he scored this wonderful goal, but when he was dropping off and picking it up from deep, and he was trying to help out and defend and give support in that sense in front of Marv. He was just getting he were getting us up the pitch. He were getting up the pitch and travel. Always used to goalkeepers, you'd always hear that. Travel! And that's what he does. Drags you up the pitch. It allows your centre halves to get out, allows your full-backs to get out. I mean, all right, sometimes we have a problem keeping up with him because he's lightning, but he just gets you up pitch. He's had a really good game today, but he's not the only one. There's been a few really good performances. Wednesday really sort of starting to enjoy themselves now. They've made a load of subs, Hull, and Wednesday have made a few. Obviously, we want to eye on other fixtures that we've got coming up, but Wednesday just we're enjoying themselves. But then we start to sort of ease off a bit. You know, we've got this 2-0 lead. There's no real pressure on us. Hull aren't really doing anything, so then we sort of take it down a couple of gears, and it's understandable when you're comfortable and when you're not. You know, if people aren't closing you down and squeezing you, well, you're going to have 3 touches if nobody comes to close you down, aren't you? You know what I mean? If people are closing you down and you've got to be quick, 1 touch, 2 touch, you do it. When people aren't closing you down like these weren't, if you can have, I'll have another touch, but what you end up doing is slowing your own play down, and I think Wednesday become a little bit of a victim of that. We're 2-0, very comfortable, and we just slowed it down a little bit. And that's when you can get a little bit casual. Parma had to take a booking because when we'd got in, they broke very quickly. And because we were, a bit dozy about it, because we'd sort of dropped down a gear, they got a 2v2. And Parma had to take one for the team there, took him out in their half, which was, the right thing to do, and got a booking. But it's just that thing of keeping tempo up, keeping pressure up. As I said, it's hard to do with a team that, because they're a man down, they can't go to man to man. So they are shuffling about and they're not really squeezing you. And sometimes you can have too much time on ball. I mean, there was an instance it was probably about 5 minutes after Parma booking that they'd brought a substitute on. He got inside left position, Lepin's learning. He's probably dribbled past 3 players there and got him sent a corner, but it's just that thing, don't fall asleep. You can't afford to fall asleep. Windass makes it 3-0. It's a lovely finish, but again, Marvin Johnson travelling that left-hand side, eating ground up, puts in a wicked delivery. Their lad heads it out, and it's a fantastic finish from Windass. It's easy to get them wrong, but he takes just enough sting off ball to be able to get over it and keep it down, but away from keeper. It's a lovely strike. Outside at boot, but with no swaz, which were just the finish that we needed. So Wednesday, 3-0, comfortable. And like I said, maybe a little bit too comfortable sometimes. And of course they get a penalty. It touches his hand, but their kid shoves him, doesn't he? He shoves his shoulder, which moves his arm onto the ball. I mean, it's harsh. It's very hard. But equally, just as I thought it would have been harsh for Hull if they conceded that one against Parma, I think this one's harsh against Ihekwe. He does handball it, but the kid shoved his arm into him, really. That's what it looked like to me. So they've scored that. Puts a bit of respectability on the scoreline. And in a way, it probably did us a little bit of a favour, because I think it just made everybody realise, oh right, yeah, can't take foot off gas here, because teams in this division are always capable of scoring a goal from nothing, really. So in a way, maybe it did us a favour that we then started turning it screw again after this little sort of 10-minute lull that we'd had. So in the end, a really comfortable win for Wednesday. Like I said, I was a little bit panicky at half time, but I think that's because I knew what the results. And we're looking stronger and stronger, despite the fact we've got 2 suspended, we've got about 10 or 12 out injured overall. You can see a confidence in players. You can see that it's not affecting them in the way that it were affecting them at the beginning of the season. You know, we've started with that win against Rotherham, and it starts to build momentum, starts to build confidence, and you can see that there's a spirit within the players. You can see, to a man, there's now a work ethic through that team. Where you can't always say that. There's a work ethic right through that team. Every single one of them comes on and works their socks off. I think Ashley Fletcher today, I thought he looked lively. You know, I'm not sure kid will ever score a goal all the time he's here. It's just not happening for it. Yeah, and I know he's not got best record in his career, but I thought he were busy today. Looked sharp. I thought he was linking play very well actually when he come on. But you can see every one of them clearly believes what the manager's trying to do. We've closed that gap now on Huddersfield to 3 points. In fact, we'll just have a quick look at that. So there we go. This is the table, the first match day of 2024. Wednesday, 22nd place. Climbed above QPR, said we'd do it, keep plugging away, we've done that. Above QPR now, and just 3 points behind Huddersfield Town. Look at goal difference and all, down to -19 now. I mean, at one time that was looking absolutely shocking, but we're starting to score goals, starting to attack teams and put them under pressure and look like we're going to get shots away. So 3 points now between us and Huddersfield. You've got to have belief in yourself. I've said it from the beginning, I think we can do it, but as every passing week goes by, I think there's more and more thinking the same. Close that gap on Huddersfield now to 3 points. And the window's about to open. It's absolutely vital that they give Danny Roll some money to spend. Whether that just be on wages and getting frees in, or whether it be fees for players that he's got on his shopping list. Obviously that means we'll probably have to let a few go. We know what finances are like at club, and owner said he's not going to spend anything over and above, you know, what he has to. But it would be a terrible shame with the effort that the lads are putting in, with the work that the coaching staff have clearly put in and got this sense of belief into the players, the style of football that we're now trying to play, the fact that we're being aggressive, we're on the front foot, we're trying to close teams down, we're trying to go out and get goals. We are scoring goals, which some, you know, September, October, we never looked like we were going to score a goal. We never looked like creating an opportunity to score a goal. So all this hard work's going in, it cannot be wasted, because what it's done, it's given us an opportunity to get out at bottom three. It's not the best division in terms of anybody can beat each other. And, you know, if you look where Hull are today, albeit they were down to 10 men, I thought Wednesday looked more comfortable when it was 11 against 11, to be honest with you, for large spells. I thought we were well on top of them, and they're the team who was talking about making playoffs. So, a couple of additions, I really don't see, why we can't get out of this bottom three. I said at the beginning of the season, I think the squad we got then was good enough with the right manager, which we didn't have. They're showing that to be the case, but just a couple more additions just to get us over the line. I said it all along, I think we'll be safe. But with injuries piling up, we need bolstering. We really need bolstering. He's got to be given the opportunity to go out and get some of his own lads in.